40 grams of carbs, and I'm at like 1,120 calories a day.
It's actually kind of weird. We're getting into this like really weird food cuck situation where Candace is like, you should order that and let me watch you eat it.
Well, no, I want to smell everything.
Yeah, and
I want to smell all the food.
Okay, now eat it. Now eat it with your left hand. Now cut it a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah, cut it that way.
I think that's the hardest
Don't
part.
Don't swallow yet. Don't swallow. Chew it.
You're actually annoying me right now. It's like, why are we going that far over the line? Like,
Safety Net Studio presents.
Out of the way, everyone. Out of the way. Out of the way. Move out of the way. Move, everyone.
I ate before the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was expecting fireworks.
I was grumpy. I'm really grumpy. I'm starting to get what they call hangry.
Okay, I have a question for you regarding all of that, and I want you to take it as logically as you can, and I'll ask that in a moment. First, a little housekeeping here really quickly. Welcome to the show. This is called Serving Sundays. It's a weekly show that my wife and I do. I'm Dave Wheeler. That's Candace Rae. That's Candace Rae. I'm Dave Wheeler. And we talk about life and being married. And
up and over.
Having kids and current state of affairs in the world and here in Canada and the heart of the planet. This little art piece here is called Caparazon, which is shell in Spanish, and it's my latest art piece, which is available on my YouTube page, my other YouTube page called @WheelerWaves, and you can also go down and save yourself some money on some Sheath Underwear. If you click the link below, there's another link down there to sign up for the Rae Within, the 365-day toolbox that my wife has written and voiced, and it is an amazing piece of it's an amazing piece of mindset training.
I like that.
Yeah?
Okay, sure. Yeah. I like that. It's a toolbox. So I think mindset's a good way to put it, but it's also there's some yoga in there as well.
And you can sign up for that right now and start day one, as many other people have. And also, I wanted to give you a moment to talk about how proud we both are of our eldest son, who just competed in his first provincials for effective speaking through the Royal Canadian Air Cadets program, and did extremely well. Represented his squad on a provincial level, and we are both very, very proud. He got
pretty cool.
A lot of good accolades.
Yeah, really, really interesting to see a group of young people from the ages of 12 to 17 step on stage. They each have 5 minutes to talk about something that's a pre-planned speech. It's the speech that got them to provincials, so they've had time to work on it. They each get 5 to 6 minutes. They have to stay within the time zone, and then after lunch they come back and they're given 3 minutes to prepare for an impromptu 3-minute speech. And it's just really fascinating to see these kids. I mean, there's not a kid there, young person there, that I wasn't just absolutely blown away by, because they have the courage to get on stage. There are so many people who would not have the courage to stand on stage and do a speech, let alone stand in front of people in a room. And these kids are doing it with such excitement, and that was really amazing to see. And then to see our son go up there and just watch him go through the process, hey, this is what number you are, you're going to get called, watch him come down the aisle, and you can see his nerves. And we've heard his speech, many times, and we know he has it. And it was really great. I've talked about it before, but watching your kids, your little heart outside of them, and just accomplishing dreams that they have is just awesome.
I was really proud of everybody that went up there, because there were some veterans up there that had been doing this for a few years, and a few first timers, including our son. And there was a moment where we were sitting in the auditorium, and it was one of the last speakers to go up, and this young cadet went up, and I could see them at the side of the stage, and they were supposed to go up the stage and then walk on stage. And they stopped, and they stood there, and I
visibly got upset.
And I could see them getting like really overwhelmed. And I grabbed you and I said, "Oh my God, I have to go talk to them." And
I think you should. You're the right person to do it.
And I waited another second, and then I went up, and I had to walk by the MC, and he kind of gave me a curious look, like, "Where are you going?" And I just kind of said, "I just need 1 sec." And I went up the stairs, and I said, "Hey, you're okay." And she was crying, and I said, "You've been working towards this. Just follow your notes. Follow your notes. 5 minutes and you're done. And she was still crying. And I said, do you want a hug? And she went, yep.
Yeah.
And so she cried in my suit jacket. And I said, it's all good. I said, just deep breaths, 5 minutes. You got this. I said, are you ready? And she goes, yep. And I said, okay, go for it. And she walked out on stage and she got it done.
Yeah, she got it done.
She got it done.
I think the most interesting part was afterwards, when we broke for lunch, there's 40 minutes, the kids went one way and we were allowed to go the other way, is everybody kept coming saying, congratulations, your daughter, she did. And we were like, she's not her daughter.
Nope.
No, we both can recognize when somebody is about to do something like that, because we both do public speaking. When you see somebody, you can see that moment of, I don't know, and if I want to do this, and you want to go encourage them. I mean, everyone has a superpower and everyone has the ability to support somebody. And yeah, it was nice of you to do that. I thought that was so great that you were just so quick to see it, recognize it, give them the power speech of get up there, you can do this, it. And then to see her excel was awesome.
Well, it reminded me that, and even watching through our son, that there's nerves, like public speaking, they say, is one of the scariest things that you can do. I mean, above skydiving and bungee jumping, like going up and expressing yourself in front of a live audience is one of the most terrifying things as far as the checklist of things to do in people's lives. And I was reminded of that. And I can't remember who I was having a conversation with, but people ask me on a semi-regular basis, like, do you get nervous before you go on the air? And I go, yeah. And they go, really? You've been doing this for almost 30 years. And I said, the day that I stop getting nervous is the day I'll quit. Because you have to get a little bit nervous. Because as I say all the time, whenever I hear you or anyone in the family say, oh, I'm nervous, I say, hey, don't forget, nervous and excited are the same emotion.
It's just that your body responding to something that you're not doing. Yeah,
exactly.
100%. And I think to see these kids, it doesn't matter if they become politicians or heads of squadrons or whatever it is, that skill in any room that they have, whether they be nurses or psychologists, or some of them wanted to be pilots, it allows them to captivate the room because they understand how to open up. And it was really interesting to see hand placements, who was comfortable, and levels of comfort. Some people had there's a podium there. Some people had their notes in front of them and they were reading them and they'd look up, and that was a great strategy. Some people would come into the middle, they wouldn't use the microphone and they'd stand. Very proud of our son Angus. He walked up stage, he was the first one to do it, grabbed the microphone, pulled it out of the holder, the stand, had his notes there, grabbed it and started talking. And I thought, yes, you're there to command an auditorium, grab that microphone, put it in your hand and walk around and do it. And he did really, really well. He didn't place top 3. I think for his first year, we were so impressed with how well he did. And he already is talking about going next year and making sure that he got his notes already back from the judges of what he could do better, where he could improve. And I think that that's amazing. And he's already, I'm coming back. I want to come back and I want to place top 3. And that is amazing because now you have a blueprint. You see the room, you know how it works, you know how it's going to be. That first time we do anything, right? You're just breaking a mold and you're creating neural pathways that you don't understand.
Well, again, it's excitement, right?
Yeah.
It's excitement, but we play it off as anxiousness or I'm nervous. But no, you're actually excited. You're excited because you don't know how it's going to turn out, and that's exciting.
Yeah, and we have to as human beings, when we feel that, we actually have to change our thought pattern and say, I'm excited.
Right.
I'm excited. And then when you change that, you go, right, I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. And that's something I need to remind myself of before I step on a stage. But with Angus, we did get nice feedback for him that he had heard about the fact that they were blown away that it was his first year, that he had the charisma to be on stage and command a room. And I thought that was just such great feedback, because you want to improve in everything that you do, and to get a compliment from one of the judges of, hey, he has what it takes to be up here. I thought that was amazing.
Well, there's one thing that I learned very early in my when I started doing stand-up, and I learned it from a veteran, which was when you
tell funny jokes.
Make sure you tell funny jokes, but one of the easiest ways to do that is to make sure that you're connecting with the audience rather quickly. And the way to do that is when you walk up there, like you said, take the mic out of the mic stand and move the mic stand. A lot of very young comedians will stand behind that mic stand and pretend like it's a barrier between them and the audience because they're afraid of that audience, right? So it's like a little safety blanket. And I ever since you do that, you move that out of the way. Now there's nothing between you and I, right?
And we've told the boys that so they knew that. He knew that if he saw a microphone that he should do that. And I recall when I did stand-up comedy, I remember I was so excited. And I had all my notes. Like, I literally had it all written out, but there was no podium. It was a table. And joke telling between, it was you and I going back and forth and standing. You really have to have your pace, and you're having there. And if I look back at the pictures, I am holding my microphone in my hand, but I really had my notes were huge. They were over there. And so if I were to do it again, it's like, okay, well, how can I edit myself to be better, to not have the table with the notes there and know the jokes, right? Really, really know the jokes. You know, again, with our son, he had his speech in his hand and he knew it. He was doing it all the way there. But then all of a sudden, when you get there and the pressure of the room comes in, you start to second guess yourself. And that's where you have to lean into your own self and go, no, I know this. Pause. I know this. So either way, it was a really cool afternoon. I am sorry to you, because at about 1:30 I started to get really hangry and everything was starting to like really, and I have a really high tolerance for annoyance, patience. I think if you've ever met me before, you know that about me. But when you cut my carbs so low in the last 3 days, I'm starting to really understand what this means. And also the amount of working out that I'm doing, I feel like my testosterone is coming up, and my level of like, you're chewing too loud, I am annoyed. And usually that would never bother me. But it's like, or using the word I'm not a fan of a filler word. We all do it. We all can figure out our filler words. It's something I challenge people to do at 365, is to, you know, really record yourself. And it's a whole process. But when I hear people doing it, so the whole time I'm hungry and I'm like, did that person just say did they just say like, and you're just looking at me and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, you are very easily aggravated.
Yeah, and I feel bad. It wasn't to the kids, to be honest. It was more to the level up, you know, using their vocabulary. I mean, I'm not perfect at all in speaking. I mean, geez, English is so hard for me at times, but I see that I'm becoming a little bit more triggered, feeling more triggered. And I think I have 49 more days to go. Well, and it's not going to get any easier.
Well, that brings me to my question. And this is the one.
Yes, I do want a cookie.
And this is the one that I'm nervous about. And I want you to know that this question comes from all the love and understanding. And this comes on behalf of everyone in this household. How would you like us to handle the next 49 days from our perspective?
Just chuck a cookie at me.
No, because that's not going to help.
Well,
I mean, that is a short-term solution. We are looking for a long-term support system for you, because you just said you're recognizing that you're becoming more and more egregious as the days go on, and things are not going to get easier. They're really not. They're going to get harder. I think you're all
doing great. I remind myself, and I did even when I was there, no one else signed up. I signed up for this. This is a choice I made. So.
Well, in a way, we all signed up for it because we know.
Right, but for my reaction, it's like if you're in a shitty mood, and all of a sudden you come home, we're all in a good mood, and you're in a shitty mood, and you drag your shitty mood everywhere. Well, that's not fair to everybody in the room. Okay, you're allowed to say, you know, I'm having a tough day. You know what? Hey, you need to go take 20 minutes, and then you got to move on with everything. So if I drag everybody into my shittiness, then that's not good on me as a human being. And so I think what you guys can do is just continue to support me and understand. I think it's just the understanding, hey, mom just stepped away. Yes, because it's hard to be around food. It is so hard. At first it wasn't so hard, but in the last few days, I'm feeling, because we dropped my carbs, I'm doing now 5 low days, and we're doing 40 grams of carbs, and I'm at like 1,120 calories a day.
It's actually kind of weird. We're getting into this like really weird food cuck situation where Candace is like, you should order that and let me watch you eat it.
Well, no, I want to smell everything.
Yeah,
and I want to smell all the food.
Okay, now eat it. Now eat it with your left hand. Now cut it a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah, cut it that way.
I think that's the hardest part.
Don't swallow yet. Don't swallow. Chew it.
You're actually annoying me right now. It's like, why are we going that far over the line? Like, I just think that I don't want to be in the kitchen. I find the temptations are too strong, you know, having the willpower to do it. I do think you're all doing a great job, and I just gently remind myself always that I'm the one that signed up for it. It's not on, I can't take this out on anybody. This is me. This is what I want, and you're all being supportive as it is anyway. Everybody understands that I work out, and I'm gone almost 3 hours throughout all my working out, morning and afternoon, and everyone has patience. So continue doing what you're doing. You know, understand that when I
and I understand you, and I appreciate you saying that, but I'll refer to a situation that's come up over the last 17 years with you and I being together where one of us has a blow up, and I've said to you before, you'll say, hey, are you okay? You know, after we have a dust up or whatever, I go, yep. Now I just need to know what to do with all this. Like I'm happy to take all that on, but now I just need to know where to disperse it because I can't hold that in. Like what's done is done, what's said is said. You know, we dealt with it, but there's still a lot inside. So I don't want you to think this is all on me. I have to hold it in. Like there still has to be a way for you to be able to disperse that. I mean, if you are aggravated and whatnot, there has to be an outlet for you.
I go boxing.
Okay.
I mean, you know, for me, I go boxing. I'm on a treadmill all the time. There's constantly levels of dripping. I'm in yin yoga, and I appreciate that recognition, but I'm self-aware enough to know how to get rid of it. I have fought my coach on keeping boxing in. He really wanted me this past week to not do boxing, concerned about cortisol levels, which I think is a whole thing that I don't need to be concerned about at all. I think it's just a trigger word. I think that I have amazing regulation as a yin yoga and a yoga teacher. I understand. I do meditation. I think it's just a buzzword that is being thrown around, especially to women in their 40s. But hey, I'm new to the fitness industry, so I'm just learning as I go. I don't think it is a cortisol level. I think for me it is important. And so I was doing 6 days a week and then 5 days a week. And he said, I don't want you to do any. I did one. Didn't tell him if he's watching. Sorry, I did do one. I needed to do one. And this coming week, we haven't talked about it, but I plan on doing 2 because my mental health in this process is more important than the way I show up on stage, because I have to take my mental health with me. Those glutes can come with me. I can make the adjustments. Hey, you place 4th, you place 5th, you place 10th, you place last. I still showed up. And if I choose to do it again, I have to keep my mental health in check, because one big thing I'm learning about this process, huge, you are constantly being critiqued. And if your mindset isn't strong on the critiquing of, you know, this with that and you would have with this, and you're constantly being questioned, you're like in a science experiment, that if you don't have your mind strong, you're effed. You could go down a dark tunnel, and I could see how that would happen. So if I need to add 2 levels of boxing and it's going to quote unquote thicken up my side because as a bikini you want a tapered waist and it thickens up, so be it. I needed to hang on to my mental health. That was more important to me than anything.
Well, that's what kind of scares me a little bit too. And since we're talking about it, since we are getting close to those harder weeks that are coming up, is my father said to me a long time ago, if you ever want to make a hobby a chore, make it your job. And it's kind of the same argument I've made about ongoing hockey throughout the entire year, like 12 months a year out of hockey, is that you're going to get burnt out, right? And what I'm afraid of is that this really healthy thing that you're doing as far as working out and staying fit and eating right and doing all these things is going to become such a chore and such a horrible thing that once it's all said and done, you're like, I never want to do that again.
No, I like my shoulder caps way too much. And I am excited to find what that looks like after, because I don't know if I would compete again. I have no idea. I need to do the first one and find out what that whole vibe feels like. But fitness is such a love because of what I get back from the gym for because my cup is so much fuller now. I have more energy. I sleep better. I feel better in my clothes. My skin looks better. Why would I give any of those things up? Will I train 6 days a week like I am now for 2.5, 3 hours a day? No. How exciting to get some time back. But I agree. I could see, especially as we continuing on here, and now you got to do 45 minutes on the 11 incline, and then you got to do this. You could be just resentful. But I remember my why, and if I could leave you with anything from today's show, anything that you're doing in life, you're going to a goal, you need to write your why down. Why am I doing this?
Why?
It's so important, because when you feel like this, carbs, low, all the kinds of things, whatever what would pull you off your why, you can come back and look at it and remember in those words at that time in my handwriting, that was my why. And I'm doing it for that. And I was learning all of this. And when this chapter is over, I can decide what I want to take from that version over. I think it's the best thing anybody could do. It's the best advice I could give anybody in anything you want to do. Know your why. Know your why. And I know my why. And I continue to come back to it when I'm struggling. And I can really feel that in the next...
What is your why?
Why? I'll just tell you at the end.
We're getting close.
49 more days.
Oh, that end. I thought you meant at the end of the show.
Oh, that's my why. I mean, I think you have a general idea of what it is. I wanted to be on stage and challenge myself to do it. It was part of why not me? Why not now? Why not? It was part of the why. And, it's a little deeper than that. And I'll share that at the end when post-competition and I'm sitting on this show because I'm doing it. That show after, it's going to be all ASMR of me eating rando treats. But I think that's the other thing too, because it's unrealistic, right? You look at all these bodybuilders after they're done, they all just load up, eat poorly. So it's not sustainable. The real sustainability is living an 80%, 20% lifestyle. Live in the 80% bulk. Live healthy. Do your workouts. Eat clean. But there should be some joy, whatever that joy is, whether it be cake or whether it be, having a nice dinner once in a while out and you're not tracking. But living 100% all the time could really, it's...
Well,
good for you if you're able to do that constantly. I just think it's a better life balance. And again, for me, I don't mean drinking. I don't even know if I'd ever go back to it, truthfully, after being off almost. We're actually at 300 days today.
Wow.
300 days. As we're recording this podcast, we were 300 days sober. Yeah. Acceptance. And I that is because that due date, because we had committed to a year. At this very moment, I have no desire to go back to it because I feel like one of the big reasons of quitting has brought me to this level of awareness.
I had a brief conversation via text with a friend of mine who's also going through sobriety. And I said to him, hey, how's the sobriety train going? I said, we're actually approaching 300 days. And so I said to him, where are you at? And he says, he goes, I'm not saying I've fallen off the wagon. He said, but I've figured out that if I pick and choose, like having a beer during dinner when I'm out with my wife, I enjoy that. But I don't enjoy staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning with my friends drinking. Yeah. He goes, that's just not for me anymore.
Found his 80-20.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it reminds me of kind of what an old trainer that I used to have by the name of Richard Burr.
Did he make you do burpees?
Oh, yeah, we did a lot of those. By the way, did I ever tell you that Ace Burpee's father is the one that invented the burpee?
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I said it.
No, what he said was, if
I had a cookie, I wouldn't have said it.
I remember saying to him one time, I said, oh man, I'm going to feel guilty for going out and have a couple of beer after our workout today. He goes, no. He goes, don't. And I said, why? And he goes, because this is why we work out.
And that makes complete sense. I mean, I'm not a fan that he made a burpee, though it is an amazing workout, but he's 100% right. Whatever your little joy of that 20%, just keep it in check. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it was your uncle who said, don't get yourself into...
No, okay, so I've told the story before, but it was actually my brother's best friend's father, Oliver Turley, who's a wonderful Irishman, who said, never get yourself into enough trouble that you can't enjoy a cold beer on a hot day.
Right. And that's what it comes down to. Don't get yourself in too much of a bodybuilding that you can't have a piece of cake, and I can't have a piece of cake.
But
I realize, I will say this, I do not have a good relationship with food. I have recognized this in this process. Oh my gosh. Food has only been savory or, consumption, but when you're eating for only to fuel your body and you take away the fun, really, like ground chicken, broccoli, a little Greek yogurt, rinse and repeat. I'm on the same food every day because I see people doing all these, like, you could do this and this and this. I'm like, I'd eat that whole pan of your healthy brownie would be eaten. And I realize this process has taught me that I don't have a healthy relationship with food, which I'm going to have to deal with afterwards.
It reminds me of that scene from The Matrix where they're on the Nebuchadnezzar and Neo's having his first meal that just looks like cream of wheat or some sort of, and they said, hey, it's amino acids, all the body needs to function, right?
Yeah, and sometimes when I just close my eyes, I just cut it and imagine that it's a steak, and yeah. And that's exactly what it comes down to. So it has been, again, one of the levels of the why was to understand the grit of what it takes to be an athlete at this level. And now I'm in it because I feel like everything, I've learned stuff, but now I feel like I'm in the grit because this morning before our son went to cadets and had to be there for 9, I had to be home. I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning to make sure that I was at the gym for 5 to get my training in done because I've also learned, don't chase your workouts. Oh my gosh. If you can get them in the morning, which on our schedule, it's almost impossible for me to because we share a car as a family. So if you own a car and you're a sponsor and you want to give us a car.
The amount of people that drop their jobs when we tell them we only have one vehicle in the family, like we share a vehicle.
Yeah.
And we make it work. Although it is going to get a little bit harder because I wanted to actually bring this up and pump your tires a little bit. It's amazing how this journey of yours of fitness kind of led down a road of you finding a brand new contractual employment.
Yeah. I do truly believe that when you invest in yourself, and I mean this in all levels, not just in fitness, when you invest in yourself, people will invest in you. And when the first day I walked into that gym, it was to teach yoga and to come in as a specialty teacher and teach every once in a while. And then I got some contracts to teach there, and I've got to know the owners. And now I'm heading up their membership and their community outreach program, just really helping them make sure that their members feel like they're getting, not that they're not getting value, but how can we continue to add value? And I've spent
like
most
a
of my
quality control person.
Yeah, and I've spent most of my life in customer service and helping people in that way. So when we understand what the members want, I think a big thing was right away people were like, oh, that means you're going to try and get a lot of members. Well, of course, every owner wants more members. But we're not going to go get more members right now. We're going to see how you guys feel. What do you feel like you need? What are you missing? Can we make everybody happy? No. But if a general consensus is we want more protein bars, let's get the people more protein bars. Hey, you want this equipment? We don't have it. Let's get the people to go, serve your community. It's like you always say, take care of your core, your whole body. Serve your community, the people that have been there since, and then you slowly start attracting those new people. So thank you. It's been a very interesting thing to take on that role and add that to my plate. I have had a lot of people ask me how, and I will tell you,
it ain't easy.
In this very moment as I record this, you have to be so
disciplined,
but I can't even believe I'm going to say this because I'm a firm believer time is an illusion. You should really just live your life. But right now it's very mapped out. Okay, get up at 5, do this, be here, go there. And I don't stress if I don't. It's not meant to be, but I have it all stacked out. Recording, and I consult for businesses and training and homeschooling. And so I just stack them all, make it work. And if something falls through the crack, I missed that. I do not panic. I do not stress about it. A pre-version of me probably would have ate a cookie, which I recognize. But it's true. I recognize that. I put it back on my list and I go, okay, there's nothing I can do, but I keep moving on. And so thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor to be a part of that community because they have changed me without stepping into that gym and meeting Mary, who I adore. Mary, who, good luck, Mary. You are on your way to Vancouver as this is being recorded. You are on your way to Vancouver to compete in your second show without me seeing Mary compete, who is from our gym. I don't know if that goal I had that was back here one day, before I had kids, would have came forward because now I saw it. I saw somebody. Literally could see somebody, like I could touch the person and go, you're doing that. Maybe I can do that and watch her do it. So good luck, Mary. And now that gym I'm training in that gym for that same competition for this year. So I think you should just really invest in yourself. Know your why and invest in yourself, I think is a big thing.
Amazing.
And if you can't, eat a cookie. Sorry. I think it's just like I'm really struggling with the sweets. You're a salty guy. I mean, that's why you're with me, Candy. But you're a salty guy.
I prefer savory over sweet, yeah.
And I just
although I mean I'm drinking chemical sweetener sugar.
I'm always shocked by how much of that you drink. But that is one other thing too, is you realize where your food addictions are, and I joke about it a lot, but I'm trying my best to get through it with humor. If you were a cookie, I'd eat you. Like, I'm just like, it's so.
Got it. Yeah, now chew it a little bit. Chew it on the right side.
But then it makes me think this. What am I deficient of? What mineral in my body am I deficient of that my body feels it need to crave that kind of sweet? So, yeah, it's an ongoing process. I feel.
Well, I think sugar's a drug.
Wow.
Sugar's a drug, and it's a detox. Absolutely it is.
Yeah, I definitely was, we've done the metabolic before, but I appreciate you asking me all those questions. Continue doing what you guys are doing. We're now about 7 weeks out on this show before I compete. And
well, it could make for entertaining content because the people love the clip on Instagram that we threw up.
And
savages.
Oh, I would like to actually tell you about that. I did a poll on that. It was 117 people polled it the last time I looked, and 86% of people agreed with me, and the rest agreed with you.
I guess they don't care about facts then. Interesting.
No, they just know that I was right and you were wrong, and they even looked. I loved it.
They didn't see my math?
Oh no, they saw your math and they said doesn't make sense.
So again, facts don't care about your feelings. We'll leave it there. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go follow us on Instagram at WheelerJ28 and at Candace Rae. They're It's Candace Rae. It's down here.
Just one thing. The last June 13th is my competition, and we generally record Saturday evening or Sunday morning. So that Sunday morning, I will record after. We will record the show after that. I will be very, very, very tan, but we will record that morning. And,
Bring those eyebrows.
Really? You're going to do that right now?
Bye, everybody. Pray for me.
Seriously.
Bye.
I already talked to you about it. I said that they were dark, and so you're just going to bring it up?
No, I didn't bring it up.
Oh.
I said bring those eyebrows.
Bring those. What is that? Just taking a shot?
No, not at all. I just said bring them. Mm-hmm. Make sure you bring them. Mm-hmm. Well, you can make fun of you being tanned? Yeah. I'm going to be really tanned.
Yeah, so just poking a bear. You're just poking her. I think they look good.
They look great. Yeah. I never said they look bad. Who said they look bad? Who? Who said that? Who said?
What did you exactly say? Rewind the tape.
I said, bring those eyebrows.
Why?